Hello, this is John Smith. I'm in Weyburn, Saskatchewan, where I serve as minister for the Church of Christ. Welcome to the Psalming Effect. Today is October 31st, 2022. And today I just want to read a couple of verses from the book of Psalms and talk about trust. Who can you trust? Is there anybody you can trust? Where are you putting your trust these days? It's an important question. Here's what the psalmist has to say. Psalm 118, verses 8 and 9. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. Can we trust people? Well, we really should learn in a healthy way to be able to put our trust in certain people and for people to be able to put their trust in us. That's not unhealthy, and that's not what this passage is forbidding us to do. Don't trust anybody when it says do not trust in man or do not trust in princes. But we need to recognize that we can't fully trust in human beings, and it's not because people don't care, that there aren't good people, that there aren't trustworthy people in this world in which we live. There certainly are. And we do need to put our trust in those people at important times. But we also need to realize that they're human beings and that they are limited by the frailty of their humanity. Let me give you an example. We often put our trust in doctors and nurses. At least I do. I feel very blessed to grow up in Canada where I live. I feel like I've always had very good health care here. There reportedly is a health care crisis happening in our country at the moment, mostly having to do with shortages of doctors and nurses. And a lot of that was probably brought on by the pressures of the pandemic that we've come through. But at any rate, I feel blessed that there is a lot of good medical care here. There's a lot of medical technology. It's amazing the things they can do with, open heart surgeries, with organ transplants, with joint replacements, and all kinds of just amazing things, removing cataracts. There's just a lot of wonderful things they can do, and some really gifted and talented people, specialists and doctors, nurse practitioners that can give you some very good advice and offer some very good treatments. And I wouldn't say that you should distrust or not put your trust in any of those people. And I don't think that's what the psalmist is saying. No, don't take the advice of your doctor or your nurse practitioner, or don't bother going to see a specialist. No, go and get the best care you can, but just understand that they are human beings. They are human beings. And despite all the technology that we have, despite all the knowledge that they have, and even if you find someone who is very skilled at what they do and has a lot of good concern and care for you, and you want to trust them, and you should trust what they recommend, but just understand that they're not going to be able to do everything that they even want to do and that they try to do. No one can guarantee you that they're going to cure you of cancer, or that your organ transplant is going to solve your medical condition, or that you're going to be healed because of this treatment or that medication or whatever it is. And it's not because the people aren't trustworthy. It's just because they're human beings, and they can only offer you what they are limited in offering you. And that's just the way it is. And so we need to understand that about people. Even people that we love and that love us and that we're very close to. We can't fully put our trust in them for everything. At the end of the day, the only one that we can really trust with everything is our Creator God. It says here, it is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. You know, princes in that day and time, princes are the sons of the king. They are the ones that are going to inherit the throne. They're the ones that you align yourself with the right prince, the right heir to the throne, and it'll guarantee your future. It'll guarantee your success. Well, maybe. Not if you throw your lot with the wrong prince, and it ends up being a different person that comes along and takes power. Then all of a sudden you might find yourself at a disadvantage. And so, yeah, it's very important where you put your trust. But you can trust in God. But we need to talk for a moment about what it means to trust in God. Some people say, well, I trust you, God, if. You know, and let's go back to the medical thing. Well, I trust you, God, if you take my cancer away. I will trust in you, God, if this pacemaker solves all of my heart issues. I will trust you, God, if this knee replacement gives me my mobility back. I will trust you, God, if. That's not really trust. When you say, I trust you, God, if, what that is negotiation. You're negotiating with God. Trust is when you say, I trust you, God, even if. Now that's trust. I trust you, God, even if I'm not going to get any better than I am right now. I trust you, God, even if I only have 3 more weeks to live. I trust you, God, even if the treatment that I'm receiving doesn't work. I trust you, God, no matter what. I trust you, God, even if. Do you see the difference between that and I trust you, God, if? If you do this, if you make this happen, if things turn out this way, then I trust you. That's not really trust. Trust is when you say, I trust you, God, even if. And it's not just a blind trust, you know, where, okay, I'm just going to accept whatever. It's trusting that God has a plan, and that there is going to be something good in God's plan for you. You may not see it right now. You may not even see it in this lifetime. But God has an eternal plan. And trust is when you say, I believe in and I trust in what you're doing, God. I don't like what's happening. I don't see the road ahead and understand. But you know what? I trust in you enough to place my life fully in your hands and do what you ask me to do and be what you ask me to be, believing that you have something good in store for me, something good in store for, you know, the people that I'm praying for, etc. That's what trust is. It's not blind trust, but it's also not the well, I trust you, God, if. It's not that negotiation. Okay? So let me read those verses again, and I encourage you to take some time and dwell on this idea and spend some time in Psalm 118. Again, it's verses 8 and 9. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. God's grace is for you in 2022.